The late Sir Paul Callaghan was an iconic communicator about the myriad ways in which science and innovation improves our lives. He reached out beyond the dense walls of the scientific establishment to bring an understanding about science to ordinary people without ever diminishing the rigour of the science he talked about. Scientific discipline often reveals the truth, but more often reveals we still have much to learn. Whatever the outcome, rigorous scientific inquiry helps us to make better decisions. Good science and the Rotary movement share much of the same values. Therefore, it is no surprise that Rotarians, and especially the Rotary Club of Wellington, have taken this special event, named for Sir Paul, to the heart of the organisation.
New Zealand has always been an international leader in new ideas and new thinking. That's vital for our economy, our environment, our way of life, and even our very identity. Today's great ideas become tomorrow's reality when we're committed to seeing them through. With the growth of the digital and green economies and the search for sustainable solutions, it's easy to see that we're privileged to have some of the future leaders of our economy sitting here with us today. These Eureka Sir Paul Callaghan Awards celebrate and support scientific innovation and creativity. It's a pleasure, I must say, to see these awards so connected with Sir Paul Callaghan. He was a great scientist and a great human being. As a city, we've very much adopted his vision that we need to be a place where talent wants to live. The award objectives: to identify and foster young leaders who, through their knowledge of science, technology, engineering or mathematics, their entrepreneurial vision and their persuasive communication skills will bring about New Zealand foreseen by Sir Paul, the most beautiful, stimulating and exciting place in the world in which to live. Wow, that is some inspiration for you as you work. Best of luck, actually no, not best of luck, but best of creativity, best of innovation, best of thinking and the best of hard work for all of you in these awards, but more importantly in the work that you do subsequent to these awards. And I hope that as a scientist and making a positive difference, whether that's in New Zealand or whether that's internationally. As Sir Paul concluded in his video on the Eureka Awards website, at the end of the day, for all of us, it's about leaving the world a better place. So good luck to you all.
We can make science as meaningful as possible to all New Zealanders, but ones like you take it to the next level and the next level and the next level, because you also belt on or harness to it innovation and creativity. And our country is interested in how we can support young people like you, and certainly I am as Minister of Education, and how we can have an outbreak of interest and excitement about a subject that might otherwise seem opaque and aloof from all the rest of us mere mortals. So can I congratulate all of you, Rotary, for all the work you do generally, but for this specific piece of work as well, to the judges who have all participated in this process, to all of the sponsors, to all the parents who have supported your interest, and to all of you, and I wish you all the very best. Kia ora tātou katoa. Kia ora.
Tonight we gathered to celebrate rangatahi, our young people, excellence and the realisation of a vision of our country from one of New Zealand's great scientists, the late Sir Paul Callaghan. That vision is of a New Zealand that is the most beautiful, stimulating and exciting place in the world in which to live. In just its second year, the Eureka Symposium has again, I understand, brought together bright and articulate young things, young New Zealanders, and put them before an audience to speak about science, innovation and the betterment of New Zealand. That opportunity, it seems to me, is both stimulating and awesome for the 12 young men and women. Stimulating because science is a fertile topic domain, and awesome because science can stimulate a passion both in the mind and in the heart. In celebrating success, we also celebrate innovation. And I think we are a nation of innovators, and history proves it. From scientists like Ernest Rutherford and Alan McDermott, to inventors like John Britton and Bill Hamilton, to innovators like Bill Buckley and Rachel Lacey. Our collective national story is one that I think we can be very proud of. In New Zealand, we do have the freedom to dream, the passion to create, and the resolve to turn ideas into actions. It's a boundless Kiwi entrepreneurial spirit. These Sir Paul Callaghan Awards for Young Science Orators provides a Eureka moment in finding a way ahead. In Sir Paul's last interview before he passed away, he talked about founding his advanced technology company, Magritech. And he said, "Of all the things I look back on, I've done some world-class science and been highly productive and been well recognised for that. But the company is something I'm deeply proud of. Because a lot of people talk about commercialisation, we did it. In 2004, we started a company with 2 staff. We've got 23 now. We export $3 million a year." And aside from his research, teaching and commercial activities, Paul was also a renowned science communicator, an orator who gave public lectures and was a media commentator, and a writer who contributed to hundreds of papers and journals, and he wrote books. And he was passionate about helping people to understand the importance of science and innovation to our society, its environment, and our economy. And his legacy lives on. This afternoon, the 12 bright young New Zealanders stood up to articulate their science idea and to persuade you people, including the judging panel, that their idea would deliver real economic, social and environmental value for our country. And I think congratulations are due to the finalists for their courage, commitment and creativity. They've demonstrated the creativity to imagine what might be, the commitment and the clarity of purpose to define a solution, and the courage to articulate their ideas. And I think it is a wonderful achievement. So I just ask that you join with me in congratulating those 12 young people. I also want to specifically acknowledge and thank Rotary Club of Wellington and all of the partnering sponsors here this evening, gold, silver and bronze, for developing and delivering this initiative. When it was proposed that we do this, this is one of the activities that I was absolutely keen to be involved with.
New Zealand faces many challenges as we continue to venture further into the 21st century. Economic challenges, social challenges, and environmental challenges. For many of those challenges, there will be no simple or easy solutions. Sir Paul Callaghan recognised that. Therefore, we must develop the knowledge base and the creativity which will help us find those out-of-ordinary solutions and which will give us step changes outcomes. Today's community leaders have already made their contribution, and when we look at the evidence of the enormous technology and societal advances of the last century, there is undoubtedly a record to be proud of. But it won't be enough to carry future generations through the new challenges they will have to face. Our schools and universities hold one of the keys to unlocking the potential that lies within the generations still in formal education. But for that key to work effectively, we need other keys, and in particular, the key of public understanding and perception. Because real public understanding of the nature of the challenges which face us and the potential solutions to those problems will come from a better appreciation of the science and innovation which will deliver those solutions. We desperately need to shorten timeframes between scientific conception and the delivery of a solution if problems aren't going to become intractable, and to do this while continuing to meet public expectations about transparency and accountability. The greatest step we can take to deliver that outcome is through a greater appreciation in all sectors of the community about the importance of science and innovation to lead us into the future. It will require people who are passionate communicators about science and who can translate difficult concepts into language which non-scientific people can understand. It will require people who are trusted. It will also require people who share the values of Rotary as expressed in our four-way test. Firstly, is it the truth? Secondly, is it fair to all concerned? Thirdly, Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourthly, will it be beneficial to all concerned? The Rotary Club of Wellington shares a vision with other clubs around New Zealand, from Auckland to Dunedin, that the Eureka Sir Paul Callaghan Awards have become an important fulcrum to help identify those young women and men who will lead this country in this challenge.
The judging panel asked me to just mention 3 major impressions that they had. First of all, as Kim mentioned, was the very high calibre of all of the candidates. Sir Paul would have been both impressed and very proud of you. We were also very impressed by the sheer range and breadth of the topics which were covered. It wasn't narrow, focused on biology or anything else. It was across the whole spectrum of science and technology. And the other particular impression which was left with them, and it was a new feature of this year's awards, was the question and answer session. And we were most impressed with the composed and professional way that all of the candidates dealt with those questions, particularly coming from Kim. Perhaps that might be a generational thing. It's only people like me who get scared of being interviewed by Kim. Now, there ought to be a roll of the drums at this point, but I'm going to deal first of all with the award for the highly commended award for secondary schools. This candidate spoke on the topic, Genesis Project, Creating the Talent New Zealand Needs, Sebastian Halem Clark. The next highly commended award is that for the undergraduates. And the topic of this talk was Cure Your Disability. It's in your genes. And the speaker was Lara Sweetapple. And now we come to the Premier Award, and this was no easy choice. The topic was Invasive Species Management, Pulling the Wings Off Wasps. And the presenter and the speaker was Evan Brenton Rule.